I'm Jen.
And I'm Joe.
And we're Jen and Joe
on the go. Well, Jen, we're no longer on the go. We are back home.
We are.
And you know why we're back home?
Because vacation is over.
And you know how you can tell that we're back home?
Because Riley's at the door banging on it.
I knew that was going to happen. The timing was perfect. We couldn't have planned that.
So she's on the opposite side of the office door banging on it and licking it.
Yeah, it's a glass. It's a French door with glass. So yeah, she comes up to the door and it's like, hi, I'm here. It's like, Riley, we're trying to be professional. We're trying to film. Anyway, so Jennifer, we're back from Florida. We're back from Disney.
We had a great time. 2
Yes.
weeks away was fabulous.
So what are we doing in this video?
We're going to do our pits and our peaks of our Florida vacation.
Yes.
And after talking about it, all of our pits and peaks are the same.
Yeah. So we've got a consolidated list.
Yes.
Which, honestly, the pits are really not pits per se. Like, the peaks so far outweigh the pits.
Yes.
I can't even, like, we could just skip all the pits and say, oh, it was fine. But there were three things in particular that we thought, well, you know. It
really was a great vacation.
Oh my gosh, it was the most relaxing time off vacation.
Since Mexico.
No, even more so than Mexico.
Wow.
It's to me, this was the best time off I've had in 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
Like, really, honestly, it just was really very nice. Because Mexico was definitely relaxing, but we
needed 2 extra days in Mexico.
Yeah, we did, because we did, you know, a lot of different things. We were not running around, but we were doing things where this was just a longer stretch of relaxation time. So anyway,
for those of you who don't know, we were in St. Pete for almost a week. We were in Disney for almost a week, and then we were in St. Pete for a couple days, and then we came home.
Yes. So
we're going to start with the negative.
Yes. Let's
and
do the
lead
pits.
to the positive.
Yes. Let's do the pits first.
Okay. So number 1 was the traffic.
Yes.
The traffic and the way people drive in Orlando and St. Pete and the state of Florida is just absolutely obnoxious. I will not live in the state of Florida just because of the traffic alone and the lack of driving skills in the state. It
seems like it. Like, part of the joke was the rules of the road are the same in Florida as every other state in the nation. So why can't people follow them? I don't know. But
I mean, I have never seen more people not use their turning signals, going down places that said do not enter, not stopping at stop signs and stop lights. It was mind-blowing.
And then just driving very, very fast. And just as a side note to that, we did put up a short on the drive from St. Pete to Orlando. There was a severe accident, and it backed us up for a while. I thought that it had just happened, but as we did the research on it, it had happened like 4.5 hours prior to us getting there, 4.5 to 5 hours prior to us getting there. And it was a fatality DUI. Yeah, the person was charged with DUI manslaughter. So it was kind of one of those things where it's like, oh my God, you know. So it's that time, and I know these things happen everywhere.
But I-4 is a death trap. If you've never driven on I-4, I suggest extreme caution.
And part of it is that just the population has increased in the state.
Yeah.
So especially in the St. Pete, Tampa area and Orlando. So we're looking at the two parts of the state that we go to a lot, and we've seen the population just explode. And with that comes more traffic, and that's just part of it. And that happens everywhere. Yeah. So,
that drive from Orlando to St. Pete to Orlando used to take an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And that was on a high traffic day. It took us over 3 hours.
Yeah.
It was
mind you, that was because of the accident.
Yeah. But it was the same thing on the way home. It took almost 3 hours to get home.
A little less. On the way home wasn't as bad. But it just, traffic can be kind of brutal. But anyway, okay.
Number 2. Go ahead.
Oh, me. Number 2, why don't you do number 2? I'll do number 3.
Okay. Number 2.
It's a Wilderness Lodge.
But I will preference.
No, do the addendum afterwards.
Okay.
So do the complaint first, or the pit first.
So the pit was, we stayed on the 5th floor of the Wilderness Lodge and had a courtyard view. And between the hours of 11 p.m. and midnight, the amount of noise that we heard coming from the hallways was ridiculous. Slamming of the door, screaming children, screaming adults just talking loudly. Where is the hotel etiquette? I don't know. But that was annoying because we've never, ever, ever experienced that at a Disney hotel. And I don't know what was up with it, but, and I know people have complained about Disney resorts with, you can hear people's toilets flush, and hearing the occasional door slam, I understand, but the amount of noise that we experienced was absolutely ridiculous. If you're going to a hotel, there are certain etiquette rules that you follow, and you do not slam doors and scream down the hallways at any time of the day, but especially not at night.
Yeah, you'd think, right?
But anyway, after our trip, the Disney sent us a survey to fill out of specifically for our stay at the Wilderness Lodge, and I just put in the comments what I just told you, that unfortunately we experienced a lot of noise at nighttime in the hallway. Less than 24 hours after completing that survey, the manager of operations at the Wilderness Lodge gave me a call. I said, listen, I hate to do this. We had a great vacation. This will not stop us from staying in Disney. Just wanted you to be aware if there is something you can do, because he said that security does walk through the hotels at night. And I said, CMs were fantastic. Our stay was fantastic.
Yeah.
Can't wait to go back. But he gifted us with two
hopper passes.
2 one-day hopper passes, one for Joe, one for me, that are already linked in our MDE account.
And they're good for 2 years.
Right.
Since we don't have a return trip planned yet, he just made them good for 2 years.
Disney does look at the surveys, so take them seriously. When you get one, fill it out. Be honest. Don't be rude and negative.
Don't be rude. Be polite. You know.
And I was extremely polite, and I started with all of the positives, and I wasn't expecting anything, and that was very generous of the manager of
And he was just very, very nice too.
Yes.
Was his name Warren?
I think his name was Warren.
Just very, very nice with the conversation that you had with him. He just seemed like...
always be nice to cast members.
No,
you know, it's not their fault that other guests can't behave themselves, you know, so...
Yeah.
It was just very, 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 very nice and very unexpected, and it's one reason we keep going back to Disney.
So that pit turned into a positive.
It did.
A peak.
It did.
Yes. So there you go. See?
Look at you.
Glass half empty, glass half full.
All right, number three.
So number 3, the last hit, I can say, because the entire trip was so relaxing, the one day that was a little, not even stressful, but just tiring, was the one day that we went to Hollywood Studios, and we weren't even there the entire day. We got there at 2.
And we had free passes.
Yeah, Timmy got us in, so, you know, it was fine, and it was for the most part a really enjoyable time. We got to do Roundup Rodeo, so that was very, very cool. Really enjoyed that. We got the video coming on that. But it was just the waiting in line for certain attractions, and then the screaming kids who were also waiting in line, especially for Mickey and Minnie. I tried my best to just distract myself with my phone, and I was reading different things, but historically in the past, we've always been able to work around waiting in long lines. And this time we just had a plan where we were going to ride Mickey and Minnie, Toy Story Mania, and Rise of the Resistance. And so in the middle of it all, go dinner at Roundup Rodeo. So we were able to accomplish all of that, but it was just the timing of it all. I think we could have waited less time for Rise if we would have done Mickey and Minnie first, but regardless, it was just the way everything worked out. We realized, yeah, we don't like waiting in lines. We don't like screaming kids who are also in line with us. And we actually got validation for the
Genie Plus.
For what we've thought and what we've said about Genie Plus all along. That it's very, very frustrating that Disney will cater to the minority. And the way I look at it is the majority of the people will be in the standby line. The minority of the people, of the guests,
in the Genie Plus
will purchase Genie Plus and be in that line. So what they're doing, when we counted this in multiple attractions, is basically a 3-to-1 ratio, 2.5 to 3-to-1 ratio, where how many guests will go in. So 10 guests in the standby line, stop, we let 25 to 30 in.
No, it was
Genie
more
Plus
like
lane.
50 in the Genie Plus line. It was more like 50 people went through in the Genie Plus line, and there were anywhere from 8 to 12 in the standby line because I counted.
Well, was it every single time, or did it go up and down?
Yes, it was every single time.
Okay, well, it basically, they're catering more to Genie Plus. So I guess the way they're looking at it is the people who pay for Genie Plus should be allowed in first. But I guess the way I look at it is it's really not a fair way of treating your guests, because
a majority of your guests.
Right, because you're not necessarily looking at the guests as equal. You're looking at the guests as
Right.
you pay more, so you get more. And historically, that's how it's always been. You pay more, you get more. You want a nicer hotel, you pay more for it. I get that. But there are certain things that should be level across the playing board.
You're paying a lot of money to get into these parks, and you know how we feel about Genie Plus Lightning Lane. We don't need to go there.
But it does reinforce what we've been saying all along.
When they did not have that during the COVID months when the park was open, the line seemed daunting because of the spacing, the distancing. But the line just moved faster. And I know there were less people in the parks, but the Genie Plus, the Lightning Lane, it holds up everybody else. And you don't want to listen to your kids scream. We don't want to listen to your kids scream either. And we're going to link our Disney etiquette videos 1, 2, and 3 for all of you to watch if you're interested.
Yeah, because we talked about that and that, which is a little more humorous than this one. But basically, yes, it really comes down to that. That what it really comes down to is that the standby guests in that line are going to feel disgruntled because other guests are cutting in line. That's what Genie Plus is. They're cutting in line in front of them.
But you're
and you'll
paying
say,
for it.
yeah, but you'll say, oh, FastPass was the same thing. Yeah, but there was more of an even playing field with that too. Everyone had an equal shot of getting it.
It wasn't as bad because it was a free service.
Right. This is worse because now you're paying for it. So again, I feel the way I'm looking at it, Disney is basically
Stop buying Genie Plus and Lightning Lane. Just
Disney is
stop. If you didn't do it, they wouldn't offer it.
Yeah, I know. And that's not going to go away. Disney is focused more on the money.
because too many people bought into it.
Well, right. Disney is focused more on the money for Genie Plus than they are on total guest satisfaction. That's the way I look at it.
All right, enough of this negativity. Let's move on to the peaks of the trip, because there were many of them, but we're going to level it down to 3.
Yes. So, go ahead.
Number 1, first and foremost.
Oh, okay.
Being able to see our friends and family.
Yes. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we started in St. Pete, where we got to see my parents and my aunt and uncle, and then later on, we got to see Julie, Todd, and Gia. So unfortunately, that was just too short. It was only one day, and it was way too short. But it was just a really nice time. It was great seeing them.
Julie, Todd, and Gia are my sister, our brother-in-law, and our niece.
Yes, sorry.
For those of you who don't know.
So family in the St. Pete, Tampa area, and then. In
so
Orlando.
to start with family, our son Tim and his girlfriend Lacey.
Yes.
And then for friends, all right, we've got Melinda, Ryan, Carrie, Jason, Casey, Ariane, Steve, Chris, Ricky, Jen, Molly, Lori, and Haley.
Yes, we got them all. Whew. All right.
It was awesome spending all that time with them. So amazingly great moments. Some drunken moments.
I was going to say one in particular was Monday afternoon at Jock Lindsay's. If anyone was there and saw us in the corner, you probably heard us too. That was we did some damage.
We will not have a video coming out on that day.
No, we did not record anything that day. And getting together with them for your birthday dinner at Topolino's, it was actually very reserved.
Subdued.
Yes, and you behaved yourself that evening.
Ariane and I were separated.
Yes, you were, because Monday you were not. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. Just getting to see them was just absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, we were not able to see Stacy and Paul. So next time we'll see you guys.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that unfortunately didn't pan out. But anyway, we had a really, really nice time seeing family and friends. Love y'all. Yes.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2 was just the amount of relaxation that we were able to have. Like I said at the beginning, it just was spending time just in the pool at the condo and in the pool at Destino Tower. I just, it was, I don't know, it was really nice. It was just so, I'm so grateful that I had the time to do that.
And if you haven't done a Disney resort only vacation, we highly recommend it. Disney is so much more than the 4 parks. It is so much more.
4 or 5, 6 if you count the water parks.
I can't stress that enough. You should book a resort only stay and experience your resort and go to Disney Springs with no agenda or no schedule. Don't make reservations. Just kind of wing things on a couple of those days. It's great, and I guarantee you'll do it again. Yeah.
So, like I said, being in Hollywood Studios, that part was the most tiring. But the rest of it, we were at the resorts, we got together with friends, we went out to eat, just talking to cast members. So that leads to the final peak, was just being in the Disney bubble.
It
with
was so
all the positive
fabulous.
stuff. Because to me, especially in the July heat in Orlando, to go to the parks and spend a majority of your day walking around can be exhausting, can be tiring. And then you walk away after your vacation feeling more tired than when you got there. And that's part of what I mean. Like all the previous years, we'd go and we had a good time, but it could be very, very tiring.
It is. Disney's, it's a workout. You're walking a lot. You're sweating a lot. You're eating a lot. I mean, if you're us, that's what we do.
And drinking a lot.
Drinking an excessive amount.
But this was just a nice balance of being able to see friends and family and relax.
We
and then
slept
being
in most days.
Oh gosh, yeah. And then the Disney bubble. The Disney bubble, being able to talk to different cast members, take our time with them. There was David, who was at the bar, the Barcelona Lounge at Destino Tower. We talked to him for a couple different times as we would get a couple drinks or snacks there. When we first got there, Sam, who brought up our bags, had a long conversation with him. And who?
Ked at Bell Services.
Ked?
He was like...
Oh, he was the first guy.
Yeah.
He was actually the valet guy.
Yeah,
So he wasn't Bell
awesome
Services,
too.
but he was the valet guy. And then, of course, Josh from Wilderness Lodge at Geyser Point.
And Diaz from Roundup Rodeo.
And then, Diaz at Roundup Rodeo. He was very, very cool, very, very nice. So those are just a few of the people that we spoke to.
And of course, our favorite cast member, Tim.
Oh, yeah, obviously. Duh. Although we didn't see him at work.
No, we didn't.
saw him outside of work.
He's still
as
fabulous.
He mooched off of us and bought lunch and dinner and what else did we buy him? Anyway.
It was just so great being in the Disney bubble.
We still owe him money.
We
because,
do. Oh, Lord.
Let me get this. He ended up getting this for me. I still have to take it out of the box and display it, but this came out.
Here, show the back because you can see more what it is.
Yeah, you've got...
It's an action figure. Joe got a toy.
It's not an action figure. It's a display. So you've got the altar, and you've got Indy, and you've got his whip and the idol, and so you set it up as a display. So you don't play with it, you display it.
Some kids might buy that to play with.
They also had one for Sala and one for Marion, but I only got Indy because I don't have enough room. And it was, it would be kind of expensive getting 3 toys. I only need 1.
So you're saying it's a toy?
No. So we still owe Timmy money for this. But anyway, we got to spend time with him and got to meet Lacey. So it was very, very cool. Really, really enjoyed.
We got to try some new things. We got to go to Gico for our first time. Roundup Rodeo for our first time.
Roundup Rodeo was great. Love Gico too.
We spent more time. We had just ordered coffees to go and Danishes at Barcelona Lounge, but this time we actually got to sit there and enjoy a couple small plates. That was really nice.
Yeah. So really, there was, outside of Wilderness Lodge that evening, there really wasn't anything negative about the stay, outside of the park. Everything else that we did, whether it was the pools or just hanging out at the hotel or whatever, it was actually really very lovely. I really enjoyed it. So
I had a good time.
I
had a really good time.
So we have a lot of videos coming up.
We've done a lot of videos.
We've done some of the, these shorts that we've been going the last couple weeks. The one video that we did on the Disney etiquette number 3, but from this point on, I'm gonna get cracking, edit,
so
put it all together.
So if you're interested in a whole bunch of shorts, make sure you check out our shorts feed on our YouTube channel, Jen and Joe on the Go. The videos are gonna start with the St. Pete videos and go First will be the pits and the peaks of our Disney World
This one.
vacation. They will go into the St. Pete videos, and then we will go full force into Disney. These
Yes.
videos will probably last a few months, so hopefully that will keep you occupied and you will enjoy them and you want to keep tuning in.
Yes.
So, don't
right.
forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss any of the next Jen and Joe on the go action, because we've got a ton of videos coming out and we still have another vacation coming up.
Yes.
And it'll be here before you know it.
Sprinkled in there, we'll have some things that we'll be doing here in this area, in the Chicagoland
Yes.
area. One in particular, in mid-September, we have reservations for some place. We're not going to ruin it.
I forgot about that.
Yes, we're not going to ruin it.
But in 2.5 weeks, we have the Goo Goo Dolls concert.
Yeah, am I going to record anything
We're going to
from that?
record a little bit.
Oh, okay, sounds good.
After all, it is my Johnny.
Yes, true. It'll be interesting because I've got that on a Tuesday night. The very next day, Allie and I are going to see 5 Seconds of Summer, which is quickly going up on the list of number of bands
Artists
that
that
I've
you've
seen.
seen?
Yeah, like I've seen 5 Seconds of Summer a lot. I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen them more
Up
than
there
Billy
with
Joel.
No Doubt, Maroon 5, and the Goo Goo Dolls.
Not as many as the Goo Goo Dolls, no.
Goo Goo Dolls, we've probably seen the Goo Goo Dolls in concert 20 times.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 5 Seconds of Summer. What can I say? And we've had a good time going. You really need to come with on one of them.
I know.
It's a really good show. They really put on a good show.
Yeah,
Those
we do have
lads from
reservations
Australia.
at a really special place coming up in September. So I know that's a ways off, but you're going to want to tune into that.
We'll get to that
Because
eventually.
it's
So
special.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's it. We're wrapping this up. Thanks for watching. Please hit that
Yes.
like and subscribe button. It really helps out our channel.
Yes.
You can always dislike and you can always unsubscribe if you don't like us.
I don't know.
Give us a shot. We're kind of fun.
Who doesn't like us? We're good time Sallies.
We are. All right. Bye.
Bye.